We actually only took one trip as all 9 of us, before we went. It was supposed to be 6 days, and we only did 4, and then we came home, and that was honestly really discouraging, kind of, because, like, we couldn't even do 6 days, and now we think we can do 6 months.
Welcome. This is Lauren Stites, and you are listening to Her Side of the Trail. On today's episode, we're speaking with Laura Tolbert, and let me tell you how excited I am to be speaking with Laura Tolbert. She and her family, which includes herself, her husband, and her 7 kids, completed the Appalachian Trail during from March through September of 2025. And she's been planning this for a while, and I've been following her social media about the planning, and I've been so excited for them to embark on this crazy journey. 7 kids on the Appalachian Trail. Okay. But I've been so excited to follow her adventure. So every day checking in, she would share like a fun tidbit from the day every day. So I've been, religiously stalking her social medias. And then as soon as she was done, I was like, please be on my podcast. I cannot wait to talk to you. I can't wait to get more information, but also share it with everybody because I know other people are interested in hiking the Appalachian Trail. And they want to know, is it possible? Is it plausible to do this with kids? And Laura will let you know all the good, the bad, and the ugly about it. So without further ado, I'm so excited to share this episode with you. So let's get into it. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to talk to you about your experience on the Appalachian Trail. How are you doing? How you feeling now you're back home?
Hey, Lauren, I am feeling great. It's really, really nice to just all the things we were dreaming about missing when we were gone. Now we have them all
Now
back.
you have it all back. You have a new appreciation for all of that too, right?
Yes. Yes, the house is just, like, exactly as it was when we left it, and that's kinda nice.
It is nice to return to like the normalcy, the
Yes.
the day to day, right?
Right, the routines that were familiar, and some we liked less, but yes, it's really great to be back.
Just so the audience knows, Laura just completed the full Appalachian Trail with her family. Tell me who is in your family, ages, how many? You have a lot of kids, so will you give me
Yes.
the breakdown?
Yes, so my husband and I both went, and then we have 7 kids. Our oldest is 18, and we have a 16-year-old, and then we have a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old who both had birthdays on the trail, so they
Oh, that's
started at
fun. What
12
a
and
fun way to
14.
celebrate.
I think one thought it was fun and one thought it was kind of maybe not her first choice.
Okay.
And then we have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a now 8-year-old who was 7 for the whole hike and turned 8 a couple days after we got back.
Yeah, that's a good crew though. And a big
Yes.
age difference too, right? Especially
Yes.
between 18 to 7.
Right, and that definitely impacted how the hike went.
Skill level, speed, all of
Yes.
that.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I know this decision was made a few years ago to hike the
Yes.
Appalachian Trail. Why did you decide you wanted to do this? And then how did you decide that as a family that everyone was going to be doing this?
Yeah, my husband would joke that this was, like, the most planned out midlife crisis that anybody could have
I
because we
love that.
planned it for about 7 years. When I was pregnant
Oh,
with our
wow.
youngest is when we hatched the idea. Yeah, he had had a dream of doing this since middle school, but I didn't even know what backpacking was, like, that word had no context for me at all until we were probably married for at least 5 years, maybe 10.
Yeah, did he get you into backpacking and hiking and everything or
He did. We camped together. We met in middle school, and so we camped together with a friend group in high school, but not really a hiking kind of camping, just like hanging around the campfire kind of thing. But then after we got married, we went to Glacier National Park on our honeymoon and took a long hike there, and it just sort of gradually became part of what our family did over the years. That high school camp out turned into people bringing their spouses and children, and then it just kinda grew from there, and so then he suggested maybe he could do this someday, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice." Maybe when the kids are gone, And then we watched a documentary, and the documentary was really positive and made it seem really fun, and we knew that our youngest was gonna be our last one, and we were just like, "Let's all go.
Let's
It'll
do
be great."
it.
But none of us had ever gone backpacking before, except for my husband when we made that decision. So then it was, like, 7 years of figuring out, "Do we actually like doing this?" And we did, so we kept planning.
How hard was it to convince the kids that you guys were gonna do this?
I mean, it really wasn't difficult. The younger ones, it kind of was just part of their growing up, like, "We're planning for this is what we're doing." The older ones, they watched that documentary too, so they were like, "Oh, this does look fun." So it really wasn't difficult to convince people, that they would be willing to do it. There were definitely some kids that were really excited and some kids that were like, "Okay, I'll get this and we'll do it and it'll be behind us."
We'll check that box and never have to look at it again.
Exactly.
How did you handle school then on the trail? You homeschool, correct?
Yes, we homeschool, and I did not want to have that kinda hanging over our heads while we were out there. So we started in July on July 1st of 2024, we started school, which was really painful. I do not like doing schoolwork in the summer. I know how some homeschoolers do, but I'm like a full summer break homeschooler. And so we started on July 1st so that we were done before we left. And then we haven't started yet. We just got back. We finished at the very end of September, and then we're starting school mid-October. We're starting it next week.
So it was worth the sacrifice of the summer to be able to thoroughly enjoy the trail.
Yes, maybe 2 summers because I think we'll have to go into next summer a little bit, but that's okay. And they learned a lot on the trail.
There's so much to learn. A lot of real life experience, a lot of
Yes.
botany, a lot of
Yes,
geology, you know.
for sure.
They're definitely learning a lot of that. Now, how about work then? Did you just take a 6-month sabbatical?
I mean, I don't work outside the home,
Mhm.
since I'm homeschooling, that's my full-time job.
Yeah, that is a full-time
Um,
job.
but my husband took a 7-month leave of absence from his work, and he talked to them about that 5 years ago to kind of prepare. He had some big long-term projects he was working on, so just kind of prepare them. "You can give me a leave of absence or I'm gonna quit." So, and they I mean, it was good that they were willing to do that because that made it possible for us to keep his insurance while we were gone, which was helpful. We didn't thankfully didn't need it on the trail, but it was a good thing to have just in case, and, um, it just is a little bit more seamless. He doesn't have to come back and worry about sending an application, so we're really thankful he could do it that way.
That's incredible that they, allowed him to do that, but obviously, I
Mhm.
mean, if he's been with the company for years and they,
Right.
they see him as valuable, they're gonna do what they
Right.
need to keep him. Alright, so let's talk about preparation, right? Because you don't just, like, decide to go backpacking and go backpacking the next day, especially the length of the Appalachian Trail. What did you guys do to prepare? Did you do a lot of, like, mini backpacking trips and things like that?
We did. We tried to do starting after we made the decision to go, probably 2 times a year, we'd go with a small group of our family, so not the entire family at once. I mean, we just had a brand new baby, at that time, so we didn't take him. I know people backpack with babies, but we did not do that.
Well, if you don't have to.
That was, the next level beyond what we were ready for. And, we would take, yeah, a couple trips per year and just try to kinda acclimate, like, the older kids and then gradually incorporate the next kid that was kinda aging into, what we envisioned as the right age for what we were doing. And we actually only took 1 trip as all 9 of us, before we went. It was supposed to be 6 days, and we only did 4, and then we came home. And that was honestly really discouraging, kind of, because, like, we couldn't even do 6 days, and now we think we can do 6 months, but my husband was really encouraging. He was like, "When we could only do 4 days because it rained every single day that we were out there, and we had to come off the trail just to dry out ourselves and our gear." And then he said, when we're out on the Appalachian Trail, if we have to come off after 4 days for rain, we dry out and we go back,
Yeah.
but we only had 6 days to work with. That was comforting, but also that was a little bit nerve-wracking to do 1 test run and have it only sort of work.
The theater kid in me, I was, theater kid in high school, our saying was always, "If you have the bad dress rehearsal, you'll have a good show." And
Yes.
so that's what I think about you only you could only do 4 days because that was your bad dress rehearsal, so you had
Yes,
a good show.
yes, and I'm really thankful it was not the reverse.
Where are you located in the US?
We're in Indianapolis,
Okay.
so,
So where did you do a lot of your mini hikes, your mini backpacking trips?
we did a lot of those in the Smoky Mountains, which is about a 7-hour drive from us, so it's not terrible. There are a couple of, backpacking trails in Indiana, and one of them is actually super hilly, and a lot of people use it as a Appalachian Trail training trail, and my husband and oldest daughter did that one. But we either went to the Smokies or we went just on little camping trips in our state just to even have people be continually spending time in a camping environment, even if it wasn't difficult.
You gotta get used to being outside, sleeping outdoors,
Yes.
cooking your food, all of that. There had to have been a lot of research of, like, where the shelters are, where you're gonna stop, like, and do, like, a hotel overnight. What kind of research went into that? Some of the shelters, like, don't fit your family. So you had to do a lot of research and kind of planning of your stops. How long did that take? I feel like that would itself be like a 6-month process to figure
Yes,
out.
I think it could be. We ended up only doing probably about 4 days of planning and research at a
Oh,
time and doing it on the trail. Uh, we did we did some general research beforehand. There are some good things to know, like you need a permit to go through the Smoky Mountains, like, it's good to just have that kinda stuff on your radar. Otherwise, there's an app, it's called Far Out, and it has the whole trail on there and a lot of information about different towns that you go through, and we would just look at the next 4 or 5 days and just figure out where are we gonna get to, where are we gonna stay, which shelters. Honestly, with our group size, we couldn't really feel very confident counting on almost any shelter, because even if it could sleep 12, are we sure that only 3 other people will be there? I mean, our group was so big that we just had to find places that could have enough space for our 4 tents almost
gotcha.
all the time, which is tricky, and a lot of hikers will kind of hike until they just feel like stopping for the day, and we could not do that because we had to know where are we going that we will have space for all of us. But we really only did 4 or 5 days at a time, and then we'd get to some place, maybe we'd stay at a hotel or we'd take a half day off to sort of plan the next 4 or 5 days.
How many miles did you guys, like, on average clock? Did you keep track of that? Like, how many you
Um,
were doing every day?
Overall, we averaged about 11.5 miles per day,
That's
including
good.
days when we did not hike at all.
Yeah,
So
especially with a little one in tow.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably on days we hiked, we probably averaged more like 12.5 miles. But yeah, I feel pretty good about that. I
That's
know that
good, I think, yeah.
definitely single 25-year-old men have a much higher
Yes.
average.
No, but with the group size and the ages that you were with, I think that's
Yeah.
really good, actually.
Yeah. I think that average also helped us be able to enjoy it all the way through because we were not always, like, up against the clock and exhausted.
How did you handle food then? Like, did you do, like, some taste testing ahead of time to see what the kids would enjoy? Or I know a lot of times people, like, ship stuff to certain cities,
Mhm.
towns, whatever, pick up. How did you handle all that?
We did not ship ourselves anything.
Oh, wow.
We were wary of just, are we going to make it? Like, we just weren't sure, what is it gonna be like? Are we going to be able to make these distances? Just not knowing with a 7-year-old how to plan that far in advance, what kind of expectations to have. We did not do it. And we played basketball all winter, and we were so busy, and I just didn't even wanna think about it. Just like we're just gonna do basketball, and then when that's done, then we'll do the trail. But that did mean we just had to buy everything as we went, which worked out really well because sometimes you have something and you love it, and then you eat it every single day for a week, and then you realize you actually hate it.
Then you're done with it.
Yes.
You're like, "I did like this before." I've been to Harper's Ferry, so I know there's like a, trail store there. Were there a lot of places, trail stores in towns?
I mean, sometimes there'll be a big grocery store, a big Walmart, and
Mhm.
we had a ton of options. A lot of little towns have a Dollar General,
There you go.
and that usually has a lot of, like, dehydrated, just add water food, and so that worked out, and then some towns only had, like, a tiny little, country store or even a hostel, a hiker hostel will have some resupply on hand if there's not a convenient store to drive to or to get a shuttle to. So there was always something. We did have a stretch of the trail where we couldn't ever get a store that was big enough for the quantity that we needed,
Ugh,
and so we were just kind of, like, limping through buying that was actually in the White Mountains, but thankfully there were, like, gift shops,
okay.
so we would be getting really overpriced food at these White
Like,
Mountain gift
some
shops.
granola bars here and
Yes,
there.
it's like $4 granola bars, but we just it's like we had to take it, it's food.
Was there any, like, a part where, like, you were like, the ration was a little low and you're like, are we gonna make it to the next stop?"
That stretch in the White Mountains, they have, some huts in the White Mountains
Yes,
that
I've
serve
heard.
food.
Yes.
It's really great 'cause so we could get, as part of, like, a thru-hiker kind of passport, you get a couple of like, you can get, baked goods or any leftover food they have from their, like, paid, people that are staying there, they will let you have, which is great, but we went up to one, and they had this huge vat of oatmeal that nobody at the breakfast had touched, and so we were starting to eat it, and it was pretty clear very quickly why nobody had touched it.
Oh.
It tasted like somebody had spilled some kind of strange chemical in it.
Oh, no.
It was really terrible, but we were hungry, so
Yeah.
we still ate it.
Survival instincts kicking
Yes,
in.
like, well, it's weird, but whatever, once it's inside, once it's in our body, it's just fuel, so it's fine.
So, just get past the taste buds.
Yes.
Now, how long in total then did it take you to do the whole trail?
195 days, March
No.
20th to September 30th.
Now, how was the weather then, like, when you started? Because you start in
Mhm.
Georgia, so
Yes.
it's not super cold, hopefully, in March in Georgia.
Um, it wasn't, although I think our first night on the trail was our coldest night of the whole trip. It
Oh,
actually
okay.
got in it sleeted and
Mm.
then sort of snow hailed, and it got down into the low 20s, and that
Oh,
that
wow.
was really cold.
Yeah, that's cold, that's
But
cold.
thankfully, that was the coldest night. We also had snow when we were in the Smokies, but it was not as cold. It was probably just right around 30.
Okay.
And then it was starting to get cold again. We had a couple nights just below freezing without snow, thankfully, when we were up north in Maine also. But overall, the weather was really great. It was my kind of personal goal. It's like, okay, I just need to hike long enough to get to warm weather, and then it'll all be golden.
And it wasn't, like, too hot then on the
uh,
trail either in the summer, or did you
well,
feel
it wasn't for me. I like hot
you like
weather,
that?
but it got pretty brutally hot from June 1st to probably the end of July. It
Oh,
was above 80 every day and above 90 a lot of days. We had some days that were that day we hiked into Harper's Ferry, actually, the
mhm.
heat index was like 110.
Oh,
It was really hot. I can remember crossing the bridge over the Shenandoah River, just sweat just pouring down because it's totally exposed in that bridge. Thankfully, usually we're in the shade, so,
as much as I love hiking, I hate hiking in the summer for that, like, I
yeah.
can't I'm already, like, hot moving, you as soon as you start
Yes.
walking up especially in the Appalachian Trail, you're walking straight up the mountain, right?
Right. That's
Um,
how at least half the family
yeah,
felt.
yeah, I'm like, maybe, maybe do this in the fall, winter instead of
Yes.
summer.
I mean, it is hard. I mean, you need a lot more water, it is taking a lot more out of your body.
Now, did you like, as you crossed each state line, did you guys do anything to celebrate that? Or are you just like, "Woohoo, we did it. Okay, keep moving."
I think it was more, "Oh, thank goodness we're in a new state." We took a picture at most state crossings, but there were some where we actually during the day, we got pretty spread out on the trail, like, we would be potentially miles apart
Oh,
on the trail from first person to last person. So there were a couple of state lines that were kinda toward the end of the day, and people were just too far apart, but, there were definitely ones where we stopped and got a group photo, and that was fun. It was always great to mark a new state.
of course. Yeah, new
It never got old.
accomplishment. Now, does Virginia feel as long to hike through as it feels to drive through?
It is really long. It is a quarter of the trail is in
It is
Virginia.
so long. That is a long state. People don't
Yes.
realize how long Virginia is because it swoops down like that, and then
Right, and it's,
yeah.
it's not as huge as a big western state, but for an eastern state, it is really big,
Yeah.
and it was good. I think for the first probably 2/3 of Virginia, we all really liked it pretty well. We got sick in Virginia, that was a little bit of a bummer,
Mm,
and then the final third, I think we were just
you're over
ready
it.
for a new state,
You're like,
change of
"Are we in
scenery.
Maryland yet?"
Right, it was a big relief to get to Harper's Ferry and then to cross into Maryland.
Did you have a favorite section of the trail? So, obviously not Virginia. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, Virginia's so long. It's hard to have it as a favorite because there's so many
No.
great things, but then
Oh,
it
yeah.
kinda wears out its welcome,
Yeah.
so, uh, that was not my favorite state. I My favorite section was the White Mountains. It was incredible. We had amazing weather. We had, like, 1 day of rain out of probably 9 days in the White Mountains. It was amazing. I loved almost every second of it except for that one rainy section.
And the weird oatmeal.
And the weird oatmeal, which was kind of I mean, it was really just funny.
Now, obviously you were out for 195 days,
Yes.
so I'm assuming not everything went perfectly for you. You got sick in Virginia.
Yes.
Do you have any crazy stories you want to share? Any, like weather related, equipment related, like anything health related, I guess, any crazy stories, like anything like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened to us."
Well, the night that we got sick was probably one of the most traumatic nights for us as a group. My husband tried to, like, go help some of the other kids who were sick, but he was also feeling sick. He fainted in the woods.
What happened? What did you get? Was it a stomach
The
virus?
stomach virus, which
Ugh.
is super common on the trail, and almost everybody gets it in
Oh,
Virginia. And I don't know, I mean, it could just be because there's so many miles in Virginia, I'm not 100% sure, but almost everybody gets it in Virginia, and we were no different.
wow.
But yeah, he and I couldn't even get up. Our our 13-year-old daughter, like, came in, she's like, "Kids are throwing up over in the other tents, and, can you come help?" And I said, "Yes," but I couldn't get up, and I feel terrible that I couldn't get up and help her, but I couldn't. I mean, it was
You feel so weak when you have a stomach
yes.
virus.
And I felt like I would faint, and then my husband did get up and did faint, so that felt like that was a really reasonable concern that I might faint, and we got out, and it worked out, but we also had this hike in Pennsylvania. It was a really steep downhill, and our 13-year-old daughter, again, poor girl, she fell going downhill.
Oh, no.
And we did not really have any time, so it was like, I think this might end our hike. I didn't see her fall, so I was staring at my feet on this
Yeah.
downhill.
You in Pennsylvania on the trail, yeah, you're always looking at your feet.
It was like there's no scenery, there's just feet.
Yes.
Um, but our other daughter who was hiking with her, like, yelled out, like, "Mom!" And we looked up, and she stood up and just had just blood pouring down her face,
Oh my
and my
goodness.
husband and I were both just like, "Oh my goodness, like, Is this is this the end of our hike?" Obviously, we're concerned about her too, but, like,
Yes.
are
Yeah.
we gonna have to, like, rush her to an emergency room? We're on the middle of a trail. What do we even do? And we went up there, like, ran as well as we could on this terrain on the trail, and, she's just got this blood just pouring down. I poured water on it to, like, kinda wipe it away and just see what we were dealing with. I couldn't even find the cut. It was so
Yeah,
small.
but heads bleed, man. They really can bleed.
So I was like, "Well, I guess you're fine."
Like, no stitches needed.
Right? It was just nothing, but then, like, this rock that she had landed on had this, like, pool of blood on
Oh
it.
my
It
goodness.
was really it was kinda disturbing. We actually were staying in a hotel that night, which was good.
That's good.
Even though it didn't end up being a serious injury, it was nice to just get off the trail and just kinda reset emotionally, and
Yeah.
sleep in a real bed and make sure that she was okay and didn't have, like, a concussion or something that we just couldn't see at the time, and thankfully, she was okay.
Oh, poor thing. I feel bad. It was in Pennsylvania too, but yes, or Roxylvania for a reason. It's
Yes.
very treacherous out there.
Yes. And she ended up being I don't she always had stuff happening to her. Poor girl.
Poor girl. Only, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right?
That's
So
right.
she'll only be better off for it all.
Yes, and she loves dramatic stories,
And
and
she'll
she's
probably
got
also never
several.
let you live it down.
Yeah.
She'll be like, remember when you made me do the
Right, "We're
Appalachian
never going
Trail?
hiking again, remember the last time?"
On social media, one of the things I loved seeing that you post about was the trail angels. And I
Oh,
know,
yes.
that's thing. Can you just explain trail angels
Yeah.
and what they, some of the things that they did for you?
Yes, trail angels are anybody that helps hikers on the trail in any way, large or small. So it could be, sometimes it was, big groups of people serving hot dogs and burgers on a grill, like right trailside, which was really, really always amazing.
That is so cool. I love that.
Yeah, that was just like the best feeling in the world when you are finishing and you're getting to a trailhead and you see a tent set up and you know somebody's there cooking and you don't have to eat dehydrated mashed potatoes. But it could be something much smaller. We had people who just would leave coolers at a trailhead with cold drinks in them, and that is something a trail angel would do, shuttling you to town. We had some people's random strangers on the internet send us money, which was really generous.
That's really cool.
Um, and we had people that would, bring us to a couple people brought us to their house and let us stay at their house, which
Oh,
was
wow.
really
I mean,
amazing. I will say Pennsylvania, even though the trail was kind of a bummer in a lot of places, the trail angels in Pennsylvania were amazing.
that's good to know. I'm like, maybe that's something, when life slows down a little bit, maybe I'll be a trail angel
Yeah,
because
I
even
mean,
though
it's really
I am never gonna through hike the Appalachian Trail, but I think it would be fun to be a trail angel. I think that'd
yeah,
be really
I
cool.
my kids are really excited at the idea of going back, and it's a fun way to be a part of the community. I mean, one of the
Yeah.
best things about the Appalachian Trail is the community aspect, and that's actually one thing that kinda sets the Appalachian Trail apart from the Western long trails, which just tend to be a little more remote. There are so many population centers close to the Appalachian Trail, and the community aspect is just really strong.
Did you meet any other families also through hiking on the trail? Did you meet any other young kids, like as kids as, young as yours?
No, not any young kids through hiking.
Okay.
We did meet another family that has 7 kids that was
Mhm.
hiking with 5, but their youngest was 17, so they were
Okay.
mostly hiking with a group of
Adults.
adults.
Yeah.
Um, we met a few people out for a weekend or a day hike with their kids. But no other through hikers with small children. I do know there was one other through hiking family with small children, but we did not cross paths with them on the trail. They started before us and finished before us. And we'd actually met them prior to the trail, so I knew they were going to be out there, but our schedules did not align.
How about meeting up with friends and family on the trail? Because I know you had posted that you got to hike a
Yes.
few times with family, with friends. How did you coordinate that? Did that work? I guess it worked out, right?
Yes, it did, and I'm really thankful that the people who came to visit us would kinda tell us when they wanted to come, but were really flexible on where, which was really, really helpful. I mean, you kinda either have to be super flexible on when or where, because we didn't know exactly when we'd be places, and we would even let them know, like, 5 days before. They'd say, "Oh, I wanna come out and visit you in the beginning of July. Where will you be?" Like, "Well, I'll let you know at the end of June where we'll be in 5 days, and you can come there," and they did, and that was really a huge morale boost to have friends come out for the kids, and
Now, would
they
they
just
day hike with you or would they stay overnight with you?
it kinda depended on the situation. Like, my husband's sister, her family wanted to backpack with us.
Okay.
So we, uh, were able to work that out so that they could backpack with us for a couple of days. But my sister came out, and she has even younger kids, and they're not really into backpacking, so they wanted to kind of coordinate when we were taking a day off of the trail.
Okay.
So that was kind of like we would sorta try to plan around what they were hoping to be able to do, but they were all super flexible, and it's like, "If it doesn't work, it doesn't work." But we wanted to make it work, and it really did. It did probably slow us down a tiny bit, but that's definitely worth it to
No,
have
definitely.
to
Yeah,
have
like you
people come
said,
out
like,
and
for the morale boost, and
yes.
just to get a hug from somebody that's not
Yes.
one of the 9 that you're with, right? Like, "Hey,
Yes.
somebody new to talk to."
Right, it really I mean, every time I saw somebody from home, it's just, like, immediately, like, tears in my eyes, like, it just you when you're out there on the trail, you're not really thinking about how much you're missing those people, but then when they're right there, it just it really meant a lot to have people come out and be willing to give up their time
Yeah,
to just be wherever we were,
I
which
think that's
was just
awesome that
so
that
thoughtful.
yeah, that they were able to do that with you and for you. I'm sure there were some things that you didn't like about
Mhm.
being on the trail. Do you wanna share a few of those?
Yes, I mean, I don't like having to go to the bathroom in the woods.
No, neither do I. No, I don't even like using latrines.
No, I mean, you get used to it and it's fine, but, I did not like that. Days where it was rainy were definitely hard, and if
Yeah.
it rained for part of the day and we had a chance to dry off before we set up camp, then that was okay, but there were some days where it just rained all day,
Mm,
and then the next day, if it was wet again or humid, like, you're just still
you're just
everything's
wet.
just still wet,
Yeah.
and those days are hard. One of the hardest parts, and I almost feel bad saying that this is hard, but hiking behind my seven-year-old,
No, I understand because 'cause they're a
it
little
just
slow, and you're like,
it
"Just
is, and,
pick
if
up
the
the
trail
pace."
was boring, then he would, like, start messing with leaves and go even slower. He loved it if the trail was exciting and fun, but most of the trail is just, it's putting one foot in front of the other. It's not always gonna be exciting. And hiking behind him on days when he was bored, and then boredom translated into tiredness, then he was just like, that was really painful, and I would think, "How am I gonna hike at this at 1 mile an hour for the next 11 hours?" But, I mean, we made it every day. Every day we made it, and my oldest son was just an absolute miracle worker with my youngest son. Remember one day, my youngest son was, like, hiking really slow, and he wasn't feeling motivated, and I was just it's like, I couldn't think of any consequence, like, I couldn't ground him, I couldn't
No.
take away screen time because 'cause we're just out on the trail,
Yeah.
and then my oldest son, he came up with this game, like earning points for different like greeting other hikers on the trail or like
Brilliant.
it didn't even cross my mind to give him like a positive motivation. I was just like down in the dumps thinking about how depressing it was to go this slow and my 15-year-old son is out making this game and it was really humbling to have a teenage boy be so much better at parenting in that moment than I was.
But he also is a young boy. He knows what would entertain him, what would,
Yes,
keep him moving. So maybe he
yes.
was actually doing the game in his head at the
I think it
time.
I think it was partly for his own sake, which was wonderful. It was really awesome to see the ways that the kids worked together and the ways that they recognized things about their other siblings and sometimes did use those to poke at.
Yeah.
But also, we couldn't like, there's a saying, it's like, "If you wanna go fast, go alone, but if you wanna go far, go together." And that was us. I mean, we could not have done it just as individuals.
Do you have another trip planned, or are you done? Is this it? Is this the last the first and last big family backpacking trip?
I think it probably will be the only one that we do as a whole family just 'cause our oldest daughter, she's 18 now, and she's probably gonna be moving on to college, and then it's just gonna be kinda one after the other. So, this was kind of the perfect window to hit to do the one. I probably for 3/4 or even 4/5 of the trail, I would have said, "I don't wanna do a trail this long again." But by the end, I think I would do a trail this long again. Uh,
Now that you're
so
off the trail.
right, it's easy to say now, but even the last couple weeks, I was thinking, "You know what? I would do this again." And I think getting to the end of it and realizing we could do this,
I mean, that's an
it does
accomplishment.
make you feel like, "Okay, if I could do it once, I could do it again, and I would enjoy it." I don't know. I think it would be more like a, which kids of you want to come? Rather than, "This is something we're definitely all doing as a family." And I think some would go and some wouldn't, so we'll probably have to wait a few years for us to save up some more money, but I think we'd be open to doing another one if the circumstances come together.
I don't know if I'd ever do the whole Appalachian Trail, but I think it would be fun to try backpacking, like a
Yeah.
section, a
Well,
state.
and the Appalachian
Maybe not
Trail
Virginia.
definitely don't commit to all of Virginia if you're only wanting to do a short distance. West Virginia is only 4 miles, you
I
could
know,
do a
yeah,
whole
West Virginia.
state.
I think I've done the Appalachian Trail in West
You probably
Virginia
have.
technically, so
But yeah,
but
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
Appalachian Trail is kind of just like a long weekend backpacking trip over and over and over. So once you have done a weekend or 2, you
Just keep
you could do the
going.
whole thing.
It's like what do they say? It's like eating an elephant, right? You can eat an elephant
Yes.
just one bite at
One
a
bite at a
time,
time.
right?
Yep.
My second to last question, I guess. W trail traditions. I'm sure there's a lot of trail traditions on the
Mhm.
Appalachian Trail. Did you get to partake in any of them?
Well, we skipped Hike Naked Day,
Oh, I think I'd skip that too.
and thankfully didn't see anybody participating. I think that's the summer solstice is Hike Naked Day,
Oh,
which is, like, the most daylight. I guess you want to be seen the longest.
you wanna
It
get
kinda sounds
sunburned?
miserable anyway, like you're wearing a backpack.
Yeah, I don't like when my backpack like, if I'm wearing a tank top and my backpack's
Right,
rubbing on
it's
my
like
skin,
rubbing
I
your
hate that.
shoulders.
Yeah, no.
It seems terrible. We didn't do that one. We did participate. There's a trail tradition of getting a trail name, and so we all eventually got a trail name, and we went as a group by the fellowship, which, we is, like, after Lord of the Rings, because there's 9 members of the Fellowship of the Ring, and we're
Uh,
kinda thinking, like, "What if all 9 members of the fellowship had just stayed together instead of splitting up?" And, so that was kind of our vision, is the fellowship that stays together.
I like that. What was your trail name?
Mine was Blue Skies, got named that by the kids, sort of making fun of me for always, like, pointing out if the sky was blue and just, like, no matter what terrible conditions the weather had been 20 minutes before, like, "Oh, there's blue skies." But I like it too because I think they were trying to point out that they appreciated my positive
Uh,
attitude.
it sounds like a very optimistic name, like
Yes.
your positive attitude. I like that. The half glass full kind of
Yeah.
name. I do that too when we're hiking. Well, not so much like pointing out the, blue skies, whatever, but I'm
Mhm.
always pointing out like, look at that. That's so pretty. Look how nice that is.
Yes. I mean, there's so many beautiful things out there, and one of the things that really just struck me multiple times on the trail is all of these things in nature are so beautiful, whether we're there or not.
I
Like,
know.
they're
Yeah.
just
They're just
they
there.
are
They're
beautiful
not there for
for the
us. They're just
sake of
there.
beauty. Like, they
Yeah.
just I love that. And then the fact that we got to be there to see them was just, I mean, it was a gift. It was truly a gift, and I'm really thankful.
I'm like I said, like earlier, I'm like so excited that you got to do this. Like I've been following along with this planning of yours for the last couple of years. So I'm grateful that you got to do this because I
Oh,
got to
thank you.
follow along and live vicariously through
Now
you.
you don't have to go.
Now I don't have to do it. um all right. So before I let you go, I've been asking everybody this question. And this might be tough because, you've had a lot of views along the way, but if you could only do like one kind of hike for the rest of your life, would
Mm.
you choose to hike to a view, an overlook, or would you choose to hike to a waterfall?
Uh, I would choose a view. We had very few waterfalls on the
Yeah, there's
trail, I
not
feel
many
like.
on the
It
trail,
was
yeah.
so dry for the second half of the hike, which was nice for hiking to
Yes.
have so little rain. But a lot of the waterfalls that had been advertised were, like,
We're
more like a
non-existent.
waterfall.
Yeah.
Um, but some of them are really, really beautiful. I love Niagara Falls. I do
Yeah.
love a great waterfall. But I would choose a view. There were some views on the trail. We'd just be hiking along, looking at your feet, and then just look up, and I couldn't even help just, like, laughter just bubbling up at just how beautiful and incredible what we were seeing was.
Mhm.
So, yes, I would choose a view.
I like it. There's no wrong answer as far as I'm concerned, so
I
I
mean,
think, yeah.
you really can't go wrong with either.
All right, so I keep mentioning your social media and that I've been following it along. So I want you to share if anyone wants to see, because you have a YouTube as well. So if
Oh,
anyone
yes.
wants to, look back on your social media, see what you guys are up to, look at your YouTube videos, can you
Mm.
share where they can find all of that?
Yes, that is, Tolbert's Take the Trail, Tolberts. I always am like, "Am I
Like,
spelling my own name right?" Tolbert's Take the Trail, and, yes, the YouTube videos are very unprofessional,
doesn't matter.
but I had a lot of fun taking video and preserving memories. And then, Instagram, my husband and I did this together. We made little short clip reels of sections on the trail and then set them to music, and I really love how they are, and a lot of them are on YouTube, but some of them I couldn't download because of music copyright issues, but those are all on Instagram, and those are, I think, fun, and the kids enjoyed watching them all on our drive home.
Good memories. You can go, but you can
Yes.
look back on them, and that's your scrapbook. That's what my
Right.
husband says
It
about
really is.
Instagram. He's like, "It's my scrapbook."
Yes, I know. It saves a lot of time,
It
just a
does.
picture and then it's just there.
You're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, and do you have a website or no?
I guess I do have a blog. It's tolbertsTakeTheTrail.wordpress.com.
Okay.
I'm 3 weeks behind, so hopefully when this episode airs, it will actually be done.
You have a couple months.
But if not, we're still stuck in New Hampshire.
Well, Laura, I am so grateful for you to take the time and share your experience about hiking with a large family on the Appalachian Trail. I'm so glad you did it, like I said, because I could live vicariously through you. It was so fun keeping track, and you're on threads too, because I loved all your
Oh, yeah,
trail
yeah.
micro miracle posts, like all of that. And I just appreciate you taking the time to share all this with me. So
Oh,
thanks for
thanks for
being
having me
here.
on. It's been really fun to talk with you about it.
Thank you for listening to Her Side of the Trail. There are more hiker stories to hear, so please follow along to hear them as soon as they come out. And if you like this episode, please share it with your friends or on social media. Her Side of the Trail is hosted and produced by me, Lauren Stites. I can't wait to share another hiker story with you next episode.